Welcome to Just the Stats NFL Top 10s for Wednesday. My name is Ernie Jennings, and we are going to talk about a couple of odds and ends here. Top 10 rookies of the year. Actually, it'll be 5 defensive, 5 offensive. We'll look at the top 10 coaches of the year. There's really only 2 that are in the main running, but we'll look at all the coaches that have had decent years to at least get a vote of some sort. And then if we have time, we're going to look at some of the top 10 stadiums in the NFL. Now, a couple of these aren't even open yet. They'll be opening this next season or even the season after that. But when you see the pictures of them and you hear about them, they're going to be pretty incredible. So they make it into the top 10. So we'll do all of that. Now, I do have a little bit of a new setup here, so hopefully it's a little bit better. Got a better camera, 4K camera, maybe some better lighting. So hopefully that helps if you're watching the video, which you can find on Just the Stats NFL on YouTube. There you'll also find the charts that I'm going to put up as with what we talk about today. So with all that, let's start off with the top 10 rookies of the year. And we'll start off with the 5 defensive guys. The first, number 1, Carson Schwarzenegger, linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, which, believe it or not, man, you already got Myles Garrett, now you got Carson as well. This guy was the biggest underdog coming into the season. He was a walk-on at UCLA. How incredible is that? You know, and now here he is, odds on favor to be the defensive rookie of the year. I mean, going into the season, the odds for him to be the rookie of the year defensively was plus 6,000. He's one of the reasons that Brown's defense was so good this year. So right now, he is the front runner for defensive rookie of the year, and he's just a tackling machine. Double-digit tackles in 7 of his last 8 games. Just incredible. He had 156 tackles. That literally is almost 10 a game. That is pretty good. Led all rookies in that category. He had 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions. So this is a guy that can be on the field all 3 downs and just an excellent player. So he's right now, like I said, odds on favorite to win this. Now, one of these next couple of players probably could have won it if it wasn't for their teammate. The first one here, number 2, is James Pierce Jr. He's an edge rusher for the Atlanta Falcons. Just amazing guy. He was picked up in the first round by the Falcons, and he's really proven to be worth that pick. Led all rookies with 10.5 sacks. That's amazing. First Falcons since 1968 to have double-digit sacks. He's just a game wrecker. I mean, he's so fast off the line. And the reason he may not win it, or Xavier Watts, the safety for Atlanta Falcons, are both on the same team. So you've got 2 Falcons on defense that are up for Rookie of the Year. So you can imagine how good this defense is going to be next year. Like I said in a previous podcast, the Falcons were second in sacks in the NFL last year. That's amazing. And none of them had enough to be in the top 10 individually. It was just a bunch of guys like James Pierce who had 10.5, all racking up sacks somewhere equal to each other within a certain range, and they racked up that many sacks in the season. This Xavier Watts came out of Notre Dame, 3rd-round pick, was the 2023 Bronco Nagurski Trophy winner. And he fell in the draft a little bit, dropped down to the 3rd round, but he finished the season with 5 interceptions. Here's a rookie with 5 interceptions, which was tied for the most in the NFL this season. He won Defensive Rookie of the Month in September. And so you got this edge rusher, and then you've got a safety, both rookies, for Atlanta Falcons. So my point is if it was just one of them, maybe they would have had a better shot. But you got two people being voted on from the same team. It really might have hurt their chances, but they're just two excellent players. Number 4 is Nick Emenwari, the safety for Seattle Seahawks, going to Super Bowl. And this is another defense that's really looking good. And he's just very physical. He was drafted 35th overall from South Carolina. Man, he's massive for a safety. He's 6'3", 220. He's more like a cornerback, but he's fast enough to be a safety. He had 81 sacks, 11 pass deflections, 81 tackles, 11 pass deflections, 2.5 sacks. So he's just good all around the box area. As a blitzer, need to be. So he's number 4. Number 5 is Jihad Campbell, linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what's amazing about this is you got Seattle Seahawks, the Eagles, with two of these people, and they pick late in the draft, and yet they've got these players. But Jihad Campbell, linebacker for the Eagles, actually beats out Abdul Carter. Can you imagine that? Abdul Carter probably was the odds-on favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year coming in as a rookie, and he's not even in the top 5. Campbell was a first-round pick, 31st overall, so barely made it in the first round. And he's got good sideline-to-sideline speed. He had 84 tackles, and just really impressive player. So good ability to cover tight ends with that, for the Eagles. So he's a good player. So those are your 5 defensive players. Like I said, Carson Schwarzenegger, a linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, is odds-on favorite right now. Now, looking at offensive players, this went back and forth, and Tedero McMillan started off hot, kind of fizzled a little bit, but came on. He is the heavy favorite, the wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And he's already been named the Pro Football Writers Association Rookie of the Year, so doesn't always mean that he'll be the NFL Rookie of the Year offensively, but it's a good shot at it. He was selected 8th out of the draft out of Arizona by the Carolina Panthers, and they really needed him. It really did improve their team to have a guy as big as he is. He's 6'5", and just really good. Led all rookies with 1,014 receiving yards, had 7 touchdowns, 70 receptions. He was on a pace for more than that initially, but kind of, like I said, tailed off in the middle of the season, but still ended up with over 1,000 yards receiving. Just been a decent player, and when you look at their team, it's not a great team, so he's receiving a lot of attention as a wide receiver for that team, and he still was able to put up over 1,000 yards. Number 2, Jackson Dart, quarterback for the New York Giants. He probably would have been the Offensive Rookie of the Year if it had not been for the fact, first, he didn't even start the season. I think it was the 4th game of the season before he came in, and then he missed some games as well. So he just didn't get an entire season in. But if he had, I really believe he would have been easily probably the Offensive Rookie of the Year. But he had a career at Ole Miss, drafted 25th overall. Giants really needed him. Now if they can just keep their offensive players on the field, man, their stars all got hurt. But he ended up throwing for over almost 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns with 5 interceptions, so that's pretty good, 3-to-1 ratio. He also rushed for 487 yards. Only person that beat him out, I think, was maybe, I know it was Josh Allen, and I'm not sure if anybody else did in rushing yards by a quarterback. He had 9 rushing touchdowns. Pretty good. Just an all-around good player. Now he needs a little bit more time in the backfield there as quarterback, and he also needs to learn how to stop taking so many hits, which is why he was out for concussion protocol. He's got to figure a better way to, if he's going to hit somebody, not with his head, he just got to figure that out, and he'll be a great quarterback. So number 3, Emeka Egbuka. He was really looking good too. He came out of Ohio State, first round pick. He just came up short of 1,000 yards with 938 and 6 touchdowns. And this is why everybody thought he's the rookie of the year. And even early on, when I was kind of looking at it, he set an NFL record by recording 400 plus yards and 5 touchdowns in his first 5 games. So obviously, he jumped way out ahead of anybody else. I mean, Dart had just started playing, and McMillan was probably doing all right, but nothing like Egbuka was. So anyway, he's number 3. Number 4, Travion Henderson, running back for New England Patriots. The most efficient runner in the class, but he ended up, believe it or not, 911 yards, 5.1 yards carry, and scored 10 touchdowns. If it wasn't for Stevenson, he would have racked up, easily 1,000 yards. Stevenson's not bad. I don't think he's as good as Henderson, but Henderson had a little bit of a problem with blocking, for one. And I think that hurt him getting on the field regularly. And so next year, we could really see more of him as he figures out the offense a little bit better. He's so explosive. I think he had 4 runs of 50-plus yards. He was AFC Offensive Player of the Month in November. Just an incredible player. Now, number 5, Taylor Schaaf, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. He's another one that came in partway through the season. He was drafted in the 2nd round. He only started 10 games, but really passed for over 2,300 yards. So actually more yardage than Jackson Dart did. He is the highest rated rookie quarterback with PFF grade. So of 75, which is the highest, like I said, highest rated rookie quarterback, despite fewer starts than those guys. The notable mention, and this is the guy I thought should be I don't know if he could be the rookie of the year. Ashton Genty, running back for the Raiders. I thought he would be the rookie of the year coming into the season. He actually led all rookies in scrimmage yards with 1,321, and he rushed for 975 yards, which also led all rookies. So he should be up here, but the fact that his team was so bad and his yards per carry is not as good, but that's because his offensive line was just completely trash of an offensive line. Whether you're the quarterback or a running back, as a running back, he just couldn't get to the line of scrimmage before he's fighting people off. So he's an honorable mention. He was named to the Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team, and yet he was snubbed by the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year people. So that just shows you that just because somebody won or was on the Pro Football Writers Association doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win the award by the NFL. So we'll see what happens with those guys. So those are your rookies. A lot of good rookies here, and it's going to be fun to watch them. These quarterbacks, especially Jackson Dart and Tyler, if they are now going to be the starting quarterbacks for these teams, Maybe New Orleans Saints fell into something with Schaff, and they don't have to go looking for a quarterback, which is what a lot of people thought partway through the season. They stuck with Spencer Rattler for quite a while, but when Schaff came in, he really did play well. All right, so let's look at the Coach of the Year. There's only 5 official finalists, so we'll look at a few players, coaches that did not get into the top 5. But Mike Vrabel, according to most, is the odds-on favorite to win this award. And that's because he took a team that was in 4th place last year, 4-13, and flipped them to 1st place in a 14-3 record. And the postseason doesn't count, but they are going to the Super Bowl, so that's as good as well. So he's the odds-on favorite to win this award. He's already the Pro Football Writers Association Coach of the Year. So this is one he'll probably likely win this award. But, I think he deserves it. Mike Macdonald for Seattle, the only reason he's not going to win this award is because he started off in 2nd place last year and took the team to 14-3. Same record, but the fact is that he started with a 10-7 record last year versus 4-13. And so that kind of hurts his chances. But he still, took a team that was 2nd and put him into 1st and beat some strong competition. The amount of teams that the Seahawks beat with winning records compared to the Patriots is triple. They really played a much tougher schedule and still ended up 14-3. And they are my odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks. So good season for Mike Macdonald. Number 3, Liam Cohen, Jacksonville Jaguars, took a team that was 3rd. They were 4-13, same as the Patriots, but they ended up the season at 13-4, one less than the New England Patriots. And obviously, not that it's supposed to matter, but they, lost in the 1st round of the playoffs. Now, Cohen, in this season, Jaguars went on a late season 8-game winning streak. This is how they got to 13-4. I mean, they were 5-4, won their last 8 games to win the AFC South. Really tremendous, because the Houston Texans were right behind him. Any loss by the Jaguars, they would have not won the division. So they just played a really good second half of the season. Number 4, this is somebody who was being considered quite frequently, but kind of fell a little bit in the end there. But Ben Johnson for the Chicago Bears took a team that was 4th, 5-12, to 1st place at 11-6. Like I said, he was being hyped preseason as the guy, but Vrabel ended up really having a better season. But he did definitely, Ben Johnson for Chicago, did turn him around. And man, Caleb Williams looked a lot different than he did last year. Yeah, I know he's a rookie, but he got sacked so many times. Ben Johnson modernized the Chicago offense, and they are going to be a team to reckon with going into next year. Number 5, Kyle Shanahan, San Francisco 49ers, took a team that was 4th last year. It was 6-11 to only 3rd, but 12-5. I mean, the teams ahead of them were the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. 2 teams, one's going to the Super Bowl, one was fighting with Seattle to go to the Super Bowl. So 2 really good teams. And the why in this, why would he be considered, is because, and it was an amazing season, honestly, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, their 2 defensive stars out for the entire season almost. Brock Purdy missed a lot of time. Tight end missed a lot of time. I mean, they just had their wide receivers. There was just a crazy variety of wide receivers. They were having to pick up people, and yet they still were able to win 12 games. They beat some really good teams. So if they could stick their team, if they could keep their team from getting hurt next year, they have a good shot to have a better season. The only caveat to that is this is an incredible division. When you have Seattle, the Rams, and the 49ers all in the same division, it's a battle. And they all went to the playoffs, but what a division to fight through. Now, let's look at some of the top 10s that didn't make it. Sean Payton, how he didn't make it into the top 5 is beyond me. Definite snub. I mean, they were third last year, 10-7, no different than Mike McDonald, who was second in 10-7 for the Seahawks. He's third place, 10-7, comes in first place at 14-3, same record as the Seattle Seahawks. How he's not in the top 5, I don't know. Using the same, he's actually got a rookie he had a rookie quarterback who was only in his second year coming into the season, and yet he's not in the top 5. I don't know how that can be. Great defense, a serviceable offense, good quarterback who can really make things happen. So crazy, that he gets snubbed, and yet his defensive assistant was coach of the year for that assistant position. Number 7, Sean McVay, Los Angeles Rams. They were first last year, 10-7. Can you imagine that? They were first place at 10-7 last year. This year, they're second place, but they were 12-5, so they improved their record, and yet they finished in second. Like I said, these are omissions, but, the Rams led the NFL in scoring offense at 30 points a game, and really had an incredible season. Might have the MVP this year with Stafford from that team. So good season, but not good enough to be in the top 5. D'Amico Ryans, Houston Texans, took a team that, and again, this is exactly the same thing as Sean McVay and the Rams. Houston Texans were first last year at 10-7. This year they were only in second, but they were 12-5. So they improved number-wise, win-wise, and yet finished in second. They finished behind the Jaguars, and the Rams finished behind the Seahawks. The Houston Texans were just like the Jaguars, except one better as far as wins in a row. They were 4-5. They won their last 9 games, or 8 games, I guess it was, to finish at 12-5. Really impressive season for them. In fact, they might have been 3-5 and won their last 9 games to finish at 12-5. So, and then of course they have the defense that everybody raves about, and it was in different categories, it was the best defense, depending on which categories you want to use, but one of the best defenses in the NFL. Number 9, I don't think so. Sean Steichen, Indianapolis Colts, was second last year at 8-9, finished third at 8-9. The only reason he's even mentioned is because he had the team with a playoff chance, despite the fact that the quarterback was out, but really not that great. Jim Harbaugh, number 10, for the Chargers, second last year at 11-6, finished second again this year at 11-6. Just an all-around good coach, but not good enough to be in the top 10. So really, to me, the only one that should be in this top 10, probably I would take Sean Payton and put him in the top 10 and take out Kyle Shanahan. As good as it was, and the fact that he did put up a lot of wins with a team that had a lot of injuries. Every team has injuries, but Sean Payton, what he did to go 14-3 was impressive. So I think he should be in the top 5, probably even somewhere at 3 or 4. Ben Johnson is 4th, so somewhere right in there with them. But he doesn't have the same type of personality like Ben Johnson or some of these guys, Mike Vrabel. Everybody just, they rant and rave about Mike Vrabel and the way his style and so forth. And so Sean Payton's a little more sedate than that in some ways, but still one of the most effective coaches. So he's the biggest omission to me. All right. Let's do one more thing. I just want to show you some of these top 10 stadiums. Pretty cool stadiums. Number one is SoFi Stadium. This is a dual stadium here for the Rams and the Chargers. Both use SoFi Stadium. That was opened in 2020. This stadium cost $5 billion. That's crazy. Has a massive, if you see the picture, if you look at the Just the Stats NFL to watch it on YouTube, you'll see the stadium with this translucent canopy over the place. It has a dual-sided 4K video board that's bigger than the field. It's just technologically, it's one of the most advanced stadiums. It's pretty impressive. Number two, and this is the first one that's not even open yet, but it will be this season, this coming season, is the new Highmark Stadium for the Buffalo Bills. This stadium costs $2 billion. It's not covered completely, but it has because obviously Buffalo, one of their strengths, I guess, is if you're a warm weather team and you got to go play in Buffalo, you can expect a tough situation a lot of times. But so they've kept the stadium open enough where the weather could affect people, but the way the cover goes over the stadium, the fans have a little bit of protection. So 65% of the seats will be kept dry, so it should be pretty good for that. So as a fan, you can watch, but the players suffer through the weather, and you don't have to the same degree. So the picture I have for this one is a rendering to some degree because it's not quite ready. It's supposed to be ready this summer and be completely ready to go at the opening of the new season for Buffalo. So that's number two. Number three is Allegiant Stadium for the Las Vegas Raiders. This looks like, to me, it almost looks like a spacecraft type thing. It's a black round stadium. It's just black. It's pretty cool looking. But the way it looks, you don't know what's inside of it in some ways. But it's got a sleek black glass stadium with a retractable natural grass field. Isn't that cool? A retractable, and it's natural grass. So pretty cool stadium. That's number three. That was opened in 2020 as well. So both SoFi Stadium and Allegiant Stadium opened in 2020. Number four, this one's another one that's on its way, and this is for the Tennessee Titans. It opens up not until 2027, so you got another, not next season, but the season after that. This is another $2 billion project that's going to be rising above the Nashville skyline. It's got a translucent kind of roof as well, and it's got these porches. If you look at it, you can see they call them Nashville porches, which give you a view of downtown from one side and the game from the other side. One of the ideas is it's being built specifically to host Super Bowls and Final Fours. And when you see another one coming up, number 10, you'll see the similar idea as far as kind of building with the idea that you want to have the Super Bowl at this stadium. But it's a really nice looking, it doesn't look like kind of a couple of the other ones. It does look different, but it's going to open up in 2027. That's the target date for this one. Now we go from that to a stadium that hasn't even opened to Lambeau Field, number 5. It opened in 1957. It's just a classic. They won't change it, and they shouldn't change it. It's a classic stadium. In fact, I'm hoping in a couple months, actually, in April, the end of March, to do a tour of the stadium. I think that'll be cool. Um, and as they say, it's the holy grail of NFL venues, and I do want to go see it and see just walk around it, on a tour and see all the different aspects of the stadium. It's got so much history there, but despite the fact that it was in '57 and built, it's still got modern luxury suites in it and an atrium added to it too. So it's still a cool stadium. 1957, and they're not gonna. I guess they'll just keep repairing it. But how could you change it? How could you? I don't know. Maybe someday you'll have to rebuild it, but I don't think anybody wants to. It's such a classic stadium. Number 6. This was the big one when it first opened up. AT&T Stadium for the Dallas Cowboys. It's still an impressive building, built and opened up in 2009. Pretty impressive. And even after 17 years, it still remains one of the top tier venues as far as NFL goes. It's got that, which has been a problem for some kickers at times, but it's got that huge 60-yard center high video board above the field, which has been hit on occasion by a kicker. And then it's got retractable end zone glass doors. So it's a really cool stadium as well. All right, number 7 is US Bank Stadium, Minnesota Vikings. It opened up in 2016. It's called the best designed indoor stadium in the world, which is quite a statement to make. It's got this clear roof and giant pivoting glass doors that make it feel like it's outdoors, but you're indoors. And so it's got a climate and controlled environment versus somebody like Buffalo or Green Bay who want that climate. Minnesota gets awfully cold as well, but they have an indoor stadium. It's really impressive stadium. Number 8, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta Falcons. This opened up in 2017. It's got the famous pinwheel retractable roof, and then it's got a halo board, which is a 360-degree screen. And at Atlanta, they got the fan first pricing on stadium hot dogs, drinks, like that, where they're some of the cheapest in professional sports, whether you're talking football, baseball, or basketball. So impressive there as well. Now here's the second oldest stadium on this list, and that's Arrowhead Stadium. And if you see the picture, it's just so red. Everything's red. It's really a cool looking stadium from an aerial view. But it's so old fashioned looking, and yet it's a classic stadium. And it's another one of those that, would you want to ever change that, for the Kansas City Chiefs? And as loud as they were talking about the game with Seattle, the Seattle Stadium in Seattle, the Arrowhead Stadium holds the record for the loudest stadium on earth, the Guinness World Record for that, which is kind of amazing because it doesn't look like a stadium that would hold in the sound that way, but it's according to Guinness World Record, it does hold the loudest stadium on earth. So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of some like SoFi Stadium or something, but it's just got this classic look, and it's loud. So your opposing team, it's got to be an intimidating factor, the sound from the 12th man, as we would say. All right, and the last stadium. This is the third one that's not even opened yet. And in fact, it's going to be, you got the Bills Stadium opening up this season. You got Tennessee in 2027, and you got the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium of the Future in 2028. I say Stadium of the Future because right now it's Everbank Stadium, but there's nothing yet saying that Everbank will be the name on the stadium, so we'll have to wait and see. So the picture, if you see this on Just the Stats NFL on YouTube, this is another situation where they are building to host the Super Bowl. Not only Shad Khan has changed the entire area around the stadium and is continuing to change it from what it was in the past to modernizing it with shops, hotels, restaurants, just all kinds of things. A venue right next to the stadium for concerts, and not even talking about the stadium itself, but another section. Just amazing. And being from Jacksonville, when you go to the stadium, it used to be these fields right along the river where the docks that have been abandoned for years and years and years. He finally got all that through legal situations and through this approval by the city and so forth. All that's going to be renovated. It's going to be an incredible venue, and it'll be ideal for Super Bowls. So, but Jacksonville Jaguars have to wait until 2028 for that. And in fact, this year coming up, they'll have a limited stadium seating, and then the following year they're going to play their games in Orlando so that they can finish the stadium, because it's being built actually on the same spot as the old stadium. It's kind of a tricky situation. So that's your top 10 stadiums. Pretty cool. All right, appreciate you listening. We'll have another podcast on Friday with some different topics, maybe something about the Super Bowl coming up in a week and a half now. See what's happening with that. But I appreciate you listening. You can find this podcast with the charts and all the pictures of the stadiums and so forth at Just the Stats NFL on YouTube. You can listen to it, of course, on whatever app you're using, or also on Spotify, Apple, and so forth. And like I said, appreciate you listening. And so I'll be back on Friday. So thank you. And for now, I'm out.